Have you ever stopped to think about the screen you're staring at right now? It feels solid, flat, and unmistakably digital. But hidden beneath that glass is something with a strangely poetic name: liquid crystal. How can something be both a liquid and a crystal at the same time? Crystals are rigid, structured, and solid. Liquids are fluid, flowing, and shapeless. Yet somehow, this contradiction became the foundation of one of the most important display technologies in modern history. From old digital watches and calculators to computer monitors, TVs, and smartphones, LCDs have quietly shaped how we see the world. So why exactly is it called a liquid crystal display? To understand that name, we have to dive into physics, chemistry, and a surprising discovery that dates back more than a century. Let's explore, right here, on History of Simple Things. To begin, let's focus on the most confusing part of the term: liquid crystal. In everyday language, liquid and crystal sound mutually exclusive. However, in science, liquid crystals are a unique state of matter that exists between a solid crystal and a liquid. In a solid crystal, molecules are arranged in a highly ordered, fixed pattern. In a liquid, molecules move freely and randomly. Liquid crystals sit right in the middle. Their molecules can flow like a liquid, but they still maintain a certain degree of order, often aligning in the same general direction. This unusual behavior was first discovered in 1888 by Austrian botanist Friedrich Reinitzer, who noticed that a substance derived from carrots melted at one temperature, became cloudy, and then turned clear at a higher temperature. Scientists soon realized this in-between state was something entirely new, and they called it liquid crystal. This strange state of matter turned out to be incredibly useful. What makes liquid crystals special is their sensitivity to external forces, especially electric fields. When an electric current is applied, the orientation of liquid crystal molecules can change. When the electric field is removed, they return to their original alignment. This ability to precisely control molecular orientation is the heart of LCD technology. The name liquid crystal display reflects this core idea, a display that uses liquid crystals to control light. The crystals themselves don't emit light. Instead, they act like tiny adjustable shutters, twisting and untwisting to either allow light to pass through or block it. To understand how this works in practice, imagine light as a stream that needs direction. Inside an LCD screen, there is a backlight, usually made of LEDs, that shines white light forward. This light passes through polarizing filters, which only allow light waves vibrating in a certain direction to get through. The liquid crystals are sandwiched between these filters. When no electric current is applied, the liquid crystal molecules twist the light as it passes through, allowing it to exit the second polarizer and appear bright on the screen. When an electric current is applied, the molecules straighten out, no longer twisting the light, which causes the second polarizer to block it. The result is darkness. By controlling this process at millions of tiny points called pixels, an LCD can create images, text, and video. Now, let's talk about the word display. This part of the name is more straightforward. A display is simply something that shows visual information. What makes LCDs different from older display technologies, like cathode ray tubes or CRTs, is how thin, lightweight, and energy efficient they are. CRTs relied on firing electrons at a phosphor-coated screen, which required bulky glass tubes and a lot of power. LCDs, on the other hand, rely on light manipulation rather than light generation at each pixel. This is why early LCDs were perfect for devices like calculators and digital watches, where low power consumption was critical. Over time, improvements in brightness, color accuracy, and response time made LCDs suitable for TVs, monitors, and eventually high-resolution mobile screens. The name liquid crystal display also reflects a historical moment in technological optimism. When LCDs were first being developed in the mid-20th century, liquid crystals were still considered exotic and futuristic. Using a newly understood state of matter to create electronic displays sounded almost magical. The term captured both the scientific novelty and the practical function of the technology. Even today, the name remains unchanged, despite major advancements. Modern LCDs use sophisticated variations like twisted pneumatic, in-plane switching, and vertical alignment, but they all rely on the same basic principle: liquid crystals controlled by electricity to display images. Interestingly, many people assume LCD screens are digital in the sense that they are fundamentally different from physical phenomena, but the opposite is true. LCDs are deeply physical. Every pixel is governed by real molecules physically rotating and aligning themselves in response to electric signals. The name liquid crystal reminds us that what we see on screens is not just code or software. It's chemistry and physics happening at microscopic scales, millions of times over every second. So, why is it called a liquid crystal display? Because at its core, that's exactly what it is, a display that depends on the remarkable properties of liquid crystals. Materials that flow like liquids, maintain order like crystals, and respond predictably to electric fields. The name may sound strange, even contradictory, but it perfectly captures the elegant science behind the technology. The next time you watch a video, read a message, or scroll through images on an LCD screen, remember that you're not just looking at pixels. You're looking at an extraordinary state of matter doing something it was never naturally meant to do: tell stories in light. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.